Hello everyone, Ash here, and tonight I will be doing my first manga review. I will be reviewing Dragon Ball, the manga. First and foremost, before I get started on this, I have a quick note that I did the first 16 volumes. In Japan it's 42. That's because instead of calling it Dragon Ball Z manga, Dragon Ball Z, it's originally all just Dragon Ball in Japan. So anyone's wondering, that's the difference is that in Japan it's just Dragon Ball until 42. Here in the US it's Dragon Ball 16 and Dragon Ball Z 26. So I just wanted to bring that before I got started. Alright, here we go. The story of Dragon Ball, everyone should know by now. It's about a boy named Goku who meets a girl named Bonma, and they go on a quest to find the 7 magic Dragon Balls. That's how the whole adventure begins. They meet up with Oolong, fight a desert bandit named Yamcha with his trusty ally Puar. I believe that's a cat, and Oolong's a pig, and they can both Oolong and Puar can change shapes to other creatures. Oolong can only do it for 5 minutes. I'm not sure how long Puar can do that. And eventually they all try to get the Dragon Balls, running into wild and crazy adventures, meeting up with Master Roshi, the Ox King, Chi-Chi, and many others. That's how it all begins. Eventually they're off to get the final Dragon Ball, and then Emperor Pilaf and his men come down and steal them, and they have to go grab them. Get them back from Emperor Pilaf's castle. Thus, Dragon Ball. I won't get too much into details on the rest of the story, but that's how it pretty much starts. And it's relatively well written. I really enjoy the way the story's set here. It's well written, just in general, has a great sense of adventure. That's one of the things I really enjoyed with sense of adventure the series brought. In general, the character development is very nicely done. All the characters are developed quite nice. They don't feel like they're overdeveloped or not developed enough. Every character feels like he's get enough development put in it. It's very nicely done. I did not have any problems with any of the character development. The writing is absolutely incredible. Very nicely done writing. I mean, this was some of the best I've read in a manga for a while. I mean, a lot of the writing is just very nicely written. Everything feels perfectly in there. Nothing feels out of place. And you really get a sense about with these characters. You really do start to care about these characters. In general, it's just they did a great job with the writing of this manga. I give Akira Toriyama a lot of credit for having an amazing script. He did an amazing job with this story. Animation, the drawings, how they all look, absolutely gorgeous. The drawings are incredible. It's all beautifully drawn in there so nicely. It's in general, it's just gorgeous all around. You really, really need to look at this thing and just be like, wow. Especially since there's times he darkens it up and in general, just looks incredible. I recommend everyone you can stare at the pictures for hours, and they won't get old. Was there times I ever felt like I was going to fall asleep reading the manga? No. Do I have any real complaints about the manga? It's a bit of a nitpick. I do have one complaint. It's a small one. Just a tiny little nitpick. I was a little disappointed in the fact they didn't, when after Goku had found the final Dragon Ball after defeating the Red Ribbon Army and doing Baba's challenge and finally getting that last Dragon Ball to help Upa, I believe that's what his name is, Upa, to revive Upa's father. Goku goes back and Master Roshi tells him he's on his own. And so Goku goes off on his own. My only problem is that after he goes off, it just cuts straight to them going to the next World Martial Arts Tournament. My complaint is I wish they had actually done a little more, just done one more story, maybe a mini story of Goku on one of his adventures. That would have been a bit of an enjoyable read. I would have enjoyed that a lot. Um, Granted, they do that in the anime with the filler, but I would have actually enjoyed that if they had done maybe one little tiny story, add one story in there before they got into the tournament. But I'm not going to complain too much. That's just a minor nitpick from how great this manga was. Now, I'm going to give actually some credit to the anime itself for being relatively enough accurate to the manga. They did a good job with accuracy. Granted, the filler and there were still parts that were off here and there, but in the whole, the anime was accurate to the manga in a lot of areas. I was stunned how accurate it was. That was another really big surprise, is how accurate the anime is to the manga of Dragon Ball. That's actually a big surprise. Um, yeah, I mean, so, and there's also a lot of other cool features these things give you. For instance, he has there's pages where you can color in. He says this is a page you can go color in. Feel free to do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do it, but it's nice to have that. He tells about his history. Kirtan will start telling about his history and stuff, and it's very nice. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff that he adds in here that's very nice. In general, though, it's a great manga. Is it better than the anime? Yes. I do prefer the manga of Dragon Ball over the anime. I think the characters got a little bit deeper in the manga, and in general, it just has a little bit. It feels just a little bit better. It feels a little. I don't know what it is, but there's just a nice feel about it that makes it work really well. But the anime is still great, don't get me wrong. The Dragon Ball anime was amazing in its own right, but the manga is absolutely one of the best mangas I've ever read. Is it the best one I've read? It's right up there. I'm not going to say it's the best, but it's one of the best I've read. So I'm going to give Dragon Ball, the manga, probably going to give an A. I have to give it, you know what, I'm going to give it an A. My first manga review, and it gets an A. So, congratulations. And this is Ash saying so long. I am out. Good night.